Those of us who are in the entertainment business are here to supply entertainment, fun, amusement, to be able to give people a break from their normal lives. One of the biggest things I learned as an adult was that everybody has some kind of burden they're carrying, and you may not know what it is, but everybody's got one. We're all going around as if we're okay, but there isn't anybody in who doesn't have some kind of silent suffering about something. And so being respectful of people is part of the name of the game. It's okay to say you don't know something if you don't know something. I'm so okay with that. I'm not one of those people, it's like, you asked a question, you must be an idiot. No, I'm like, ask a question. You want to know something? I do. I used to drive people crazy in my class as the teacher would say to me, and they go, what does that mean? Here's Veleka again, she's asking questions again. But I learned a lot, and now I'm teaching it. Unless you're absolutely perfect, exactly what they have in mind, they look for ways to eliminate you. It's an elimination round. Like any kind of I don't know, what are they doing right now that Google is promoting? Has anyone looked at Google lately? It's got a little like basketball or whatever it is. What is it?
The World Cup.
World Cup, okay. It's an elimination, right? Trying to find who is the one. It's the same thing with casting. So if you do something wrong, that discredits you. Some of the things you can do wrong. Being late. Now, if you all were casting directors and I was going through what I went through on the Causeway, I would have texted you or phoned you. Phoning doesn't usually work too well because they're in the middle of casting. But you can text them often and just say, so get their number from your agent or whatever, and say, I'm so sorry, there's a tie-up on the Causeway or whatever. And even if they don't see it at that time, they'll see it later. So you have, told them, what's happening with you. But the idea is to be on time. And I showed up one time for, I can't remember her name right now, Megan Lewis. Anyone know Megan? She casts a lot of TV shows. Anyway, I showed up at her office. My call time was 2 o'clock. I got there at 2 o'clock. And they said, you're late. No, I'm not. It's 2 o'clock. You're late. You were supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. Okay. Just show up 15 minutes early. Whatever your call time is, show up 15 minutes early. The other thing that I was saying about this is I learned from Frankly. Can't remember her first name right now, but anyway, she said if she can't read it, she scratches it out. So you have to print, have really good handwriting. If you don't have good handwriting, learn to have good handwriting. So you print very clearly whatever it is your name is. Also, as long as I'm on the Screen Actors Guild sign-in sheet, when they ask your Social Security, those of you who've been here before, don't say anything. When they ask your Social Security number, what do you put? Well, if you're with Screen Actors Guild, put your Screen Actors Guild, or it's now SAG-AFTRA number. Otherwise, put in very tiny letters, will supply when hired. I've learned a lot about faith-based movies recently, and the reason I'm attracted to it is because, I'm so sorry if anybody feels differently, but I really hate Quentin Tarantino. He keeps horrifying me. He does. I look at Inglourious Basterds and he scalps somebody right in front of me with no warning. I'm not okay with that. So the thing that I'm attracted to the faith-based thrillers is the idea that maybe movies will be a little kinder, like they were when I was growing up, and about story more than horrifying people or spectacle. And I realized that it's about your look. And there's one other thing about acting that I discovered, which is that all of us have everything inside of us. Everyone has anger, everyone has joy, everyone has love, lust, greed, everything. When you fire your agent, you do something like this. Dear Mr. or Mrs., whatever they are, just wanted to let you know that I forgot the word now, Just wanted to let you know that I no longer need your services, but I want to thank you so much for everything you have done to help promote my career. I've decided to go in a different direction. Sincerely yours, your name. What does that mean, different direction? It's Hollywood, guys. There's stuff they say out there. I've decided to go in a different direction. That means they're not going to do your thing, right? So why not use their terminology? You know? The other thing is you never know when an agent will turn into a producer or a casting director or a director or whatever. You never know. I one time had an experience with a production assistant at one of the shows I did. Her name was Judy. And Judy Rose. And she was not very attractive in a world where a lot of people are really good looking. She was not very attractive, but she was a sweet thing. And no one else talked to her, so I did. And so we'd have lunch together sometimes. Anyway, she left New York. She went out to LA. When I got out there, contacted her. She said, why don't you come over to the studio? I'm now producing for Warner Brothers. Okay. Be nice to everybody. There's a saying in Hollywood that you're going to meet the same people on the way up that you meet on the way down. So you may as well just be nice. In fact, let me tell you one thing I've learned about publicity. Any of you ever try out for a play? Well, yeah. The very first way a theater company promotes their play is through the auditions. They may already know who they want to cast, but they still have auditions. And putting it out there, like there was a movie years and years ago, 1939, I think, called Gone with the Wind. Have any of y'all seen Gone with the Wind? The way they promoted that movie, the book was amazing, Margaret Mitchell, but the way they promoted the movie was they were looking for a Scarlet. And every single actress in Hollywood was trying out for that part. And they ended up with a little girl from England, but whatever. And her story was amazing. But you've got to get the word out. You all know what a scriptie is? A scriptie is the woman or man, but usually it's a woman who has the script, the shooting script, and they make notes in it as to what happened in a scene. So if, for instance, it was Sherry and she was wearing silver sandals instead of gold, the scriptie marks all, now the wardrobe person does too, but the scriptie marks all these things in. Sherry is sitting right now with her left leg over her right leg. When they do another take, Sherry switches legs, the scriptie goes, your left leg was over your right leg. They're there for continuity, so that the poor editor doesn't have to try to fix things. In El Maadi, which is a suburb of Cairo, after dinner, the family sits around in this huge circle, because they all live together in the same neighborhood, and they talk. There's this discussion during dinner, after dinner, I guess, and some of them knew English, very few of them knew English. Most of them were speaking Arabic. But what fascinated me was there was a 5-year-old. Her name was Yasmin. She was the youngest person there. And at one point, and there was a patriarch, kind of like you, Spud, looked kind of like you, and a really nice guy. He spoke English. And anyway, everyone was making comments about whatever, politics usually. I couldn't really understand. But anyway, whatever it was. And then Yasmin spoke up. And boy, is she gonna get it. 5 years old, trying to talk about with the adults. And they all went, yeah. It was respect. It blew me away. And more than anything, and what Tina was talking about the way I care for people, I respect everybody I work with. In my 25-year career doing this, there have only been a couple of people I absolutely couldn't stand, and we didn't like each other. And then, they left. And that was fine. I'm not your teacher. Go with God, to whoever is. But my job is to find out what's best about you. That's my job, and to help you actualize it. And I got this. I was a Latin major back in college. And I got this from, I was fascinated, I'm linguistically oriented, psychologically anyway, and the word ducare means to lead. And so an ducare, means to lead out of. So to educate means to find out what you got in you, and then to give you the space, the room, the permission, whatever you need, to let it out, as opposed to inculcation, which you pound information into people. I don't think that's a good idea at all.